The next CSGO operation. I am getting ready for it, and so should you. Let's talk about it. Let's separate things into little chapters and tackle them one by one. First thing first is, how do we know there might be an operation soon? Well, Gabe Follower, our Lord and Savior, has highlighted multiple leaks about the potential new operation. The first ever leak was on the 25th of March, right after the release of the CS2 beta. Following that with an actual video on the topic showcasing those 3 collections that might come with the new operation. And the thing that surprised me is that the new operation, at least according to these leaks, is not going to have map-related collections, right? First of all, we have the Nostalgia collection, which is going to remind us of the older Valve games, apparently, such as Portal, Half-Life, I assume, and so on. The second collection is Pop Comic, which apparently is just cartoonish / comic related skins and stuff like that. And the last one is supposed to be Myths and Monsters, which is basically a succession with 2 Dreams and Nightmares, so yeah. All of these leaks don't exactly tell us when we're gonna have an operation. Of course, we can assume that it's gonna happen soon, either before the major or after the major, whenever they also release the CS2 fully to everybody. Previously, I thought that Valve would introduce new map collections in the new operation, and then they would use those new map collections to create souvenirs for the same map collections and introduce those souvenirs in the next major. That was my logic, and I thought that would happen. But considering that they don't have map collections in the operation, it would make a lot of sense that they actually bring the operation after the major. In my opinion, that doesn't change too much, except the fact that we have more time to prepare. And okay, let's talk about what we can do to prepare ourselves for a potential new operation. There are things you can do to protect your inventory from losing money. There are things you can do to make your inventory gain value, actually. And there are things you can do to prevent yourself from taking too much risk, right? Staying away from all the volatile stuff. That's what we're gonna discuss. And of course, none of this is absolute science or stuff like that. It's all based on experience and speculation. It's stuff that I guide myself by, and I've been able to grow my inventory quite a lot because of those ideas that I've implemented and so on. So I'm gonna try and share them with you today. I actually already made a video like that last summer, talking about all of the similar things that you should be careful about. At that time, I thought that there was a high chance we're gonna get a new operation, and I followed all of these rules myself. I stayed away from specific items, I invested in some other types of items, and I just tried to follow those rules as tightly as I could. The operation didn't end up coming, but still, those rules that I implemented, they didn't stop me from profiting with investing and trading and so on. I just enabled myself to have an extra layer of protection in case the operation does come, to enable myself to get the most out of it. Okay, now let's go over the strategies that I am personally implementing before an operation comes. Number one thing is I bought a lot of trade-up filler skins. If you're wondering how many did I buy, I bought exactly 2,727 of these when they were around 80 cents a piece on Buff. That was around February or January and so on. Right now they got quite a bit more expensive. On Steam they're already 1.1 euro, and on Buff they are still around 95-96 cents. In short, the reason these items are good is because whenever somebody wants to trade up to a really expensive item from a good collection, they need to fill the blank space of the other items that they don't have, right? They need 10 items in total. So they're going to use trade-up fillers. 1, because they're cheaper. 2, because they have really good odds. For example, in this specific collection, the Lake collection, there are 3 blues, but there's only 1 purple. When normally, for example, in cases, there are 5 purples and a bunch of other blues. In this case, only the purples matter, because if you're going to use something like, for example, the Black Sand as a trade-up filler skin, you're going to have a much lower chance of getting the actual outcome of the thing you want. Just because in the same collection, there are more purple skins above this specific skin. I can actually simulate it for you and show you the difference in odds. Here, I put an item from the Cobblestone collection, a blue item, and then I put the 9 items from that clutch case. And we can see that the actual thing we want, aka the Desert Eagle hand cannon or the Chalice, they have a 2.13 chance each. So in total, it's about 4.26% that you're gonna get the collection that you actually want, the Cobblestone collection. But if we instead use the SG Anodized Navy or any other good trade-up filler skin, we actually have a much higher chance, 9% each, aka 18% for getting the Cobblestone collection, meaning that we just increased our odds by 4 times of getting that good skin that we want. And because operations are a time when there are many new expensive collections and skins and so on that have a really high price, are hard to get and so on, people tend to do a lot of trade-ups. And you can notice that in the history of price for these items. For example, when the Riptide operation was released, this item went from 73 cents to around 130, almost doubled at the peak. The year before that, the Operation Broken Fang triggered it to go from 60 cents to around 90 cents, which is a 50% increase at first, and a much higher increase later on. I probably would have sold on the first peak if I had any then, but still, 50% is a lot of increase. And of course, the same thing happened during the Shadow Web operation during November 2019, it also skyrocketed quite a lot. And on top of all this, normally, skins go down in price upon the release of a new operation, just because people just want to sell their skins, get the new operation pass and so on. For example, September 2021, when Riptide was released, the clutch case went from around 19-20 cents to around 10-11 cents within just a month, and it stayed there for quite a bit. And that is not just common to cases, it also refers to play skins and agents especially. If you look at this one from Broken Fang, let me try and ask you a question. When do you think the Operation Riptide was released? Based on this graph, I'm curious where you're going to point. And just without even looking at the date, you can clearly tell that it happened when this drop happened right here, September of 2021. It dropped from 14, almost 15 euro all the way to 9, 10 euros at the bottom. And this is not even the absolute bottom, right? The absolute bottom is usually averaged out with the average price of sales, so you might have gone even lower in the moment. Okay, now you might be asking, where am I going with this? Right, I told you that I am buying trade-up filler skins, but I am also staying away from all of these other types of items like agents, cases, play skins. The only thing that is actually different this time is that we might have CS2 coming at the same time as the operation, or even right after. It doesn't matter too much. The difference that makes is that CS2 brings so many new players and brings new lighting, new freaking textures and so on. That makes play skins in general rise up in price crazy amounts, the player base increase and so on. So because these two things are happening at the same time, kind of ish, I would say the play skins are probably the least dangerous thing. They might actually be a good investment, especially Dopplers, stuff like that, that gets a big buff from the new lighting and stuff. And because of that, I'm not afraid to invest into a lot of play skins like these ones, the knives, and so on. I've got probably only exclusively play skins at this moment in time. I think those are a really good item to be flipping, trading at this moment in time, so I'm only doing those. I'm not even gonna try and guess when the operation might come, because that guess is absolutely worth nothing. We have really only a couple of options before the major or after, but it doesn't really make too big of a difference. As I mentioned before, we only get a little bit extra time. And the last thing that I do want to mention is the Steam balance. As you can see, I don't have any, but I am planning to build up basically 2,000 euros of Steam balance to fill it up entirely to the max, so that when the operation does come, I can use this balance to set up buy orders and catch a lot of play skins, maybe agents, cases for really cheap prices, and just be able to invest into them at that time, right, when a new operation comes. I think that is really valuable, because in the moment it's gonna be really hard to obtain the Steam balance. Right now it's fairly easy. I'd say in the last couple of weeks it's been quite easy to get Steam balance in general. So you should take advantage of this situation before it's too late, before there is too much fuss for the Steam balance, because again, it's gonna happen like it did in March, in the beginning of March, in February, in last November, December. It was so hard to get Steam balance. People would absolutely sell their items for non-profitable margins and just to try and get as much Steam balance as they could for some reason. Apparently it was profitable, that's why they did it. But it gets to a point where it's not easily profitable, right? Because there's so much competition. So you should do it ahead of time, get the Steam balance, so you don't have to struggle for it in the last minute, because you might only be able to transfer skins from cash to Steam with a 15% increase after tax, which is mediocre at best. You should only get like 25% plus to be able to profit a good amount if you're gonna go from cash to Steam. Of course, if you don't know what is the difference between cash and Steam balance and so on, I'm gonna have to make an entirely new video for that, because that's quite a difficult topic to explain. But in short, Steam balance is less valuable than cash money, right? If you're gonna spend $100, you need to get $125 on Steam. That's how it works usually. Let me know what you think about all of these steps that I included. Maybe I have missed something, like some preparatory step that is very important. If so, then comment it down below and I will discuss that thing with you, and also other people can read those comments and understand that maybe I skipped something or maybe I said something wrong somewhere. But yeah, if you can do that, that would be great. And also, we are extremely close to 10,000 subscribers. Actually, by the time I publish this video, we might have passed 10,000. So yeah, I'm extremely thankful for your subscription. Thank you for following, thank you for being in this community, and thank you for supporting me. And since we have reached 10,000 subscribers, as I promised, I'm going to unbox all of these 2014 capsules, right? They're worth around $1,700 right now. They're worth not a little amount of money, but I'm confident that they're pretty much the best capsules you can open in CSGO to profit or at least break even. So that's why I want to unbox them. But I also bought them when they were like $90 a piece, so I'm not missing out that much considering they've doubled in price in the recent months. I'm happy that CSGO has been doing stuff, isn't staying in one place and isn't delaying the CS2 release for another 5 years or something like that. But yeah, we're happy that we have a lot of new content. CSGO has been reaching insane numbers in the player base, 1.5 million or so. And yeah, it's just all exciting and kind of really happy about it. But yeah, I'll see you another time. I'll try to make some update videos on my trading journey because it's been quite nuts recently. But yeah, till then, have a nice rest of the day and may Lord Gaben bless you with some stonks. Alright, see you then. Bye bye.